Ladies are back from space.
What were they up there, 10 minutes? And I also think it's fun to see somebody who has no self-awareness.
Yeah.
They're always the most...
Katy Perry is reportedly spiraling after Joe Rogan tore her space odyssey to shreds on his podcast, turning what she dubbed a historic mission into a punchline with surgical precision, along with PR experts.
Along with PR experts who are claiming the singer may face career extinction.
So apparently, floating for just 10 minutes in Jeff Bezos' overpriced tin can now count as a groundbreaking achievement. And the grand finale? Katy Perry touches down, drops to her knees, kisses the ground, and performs like she just staggered back from Interstellar.
She essentially took a roller coaster ride.
Well, it was very profound. I don't know if you've seen Katy Perry talk about it, but she's basically...
In reality, what Katy Perry experienced was nothing more than a glorified roller coaster ride. Yet she described it as if it were some life-altering revelation. I'm not sure if you've seen her talk about it, but the way she tells the story, you'd think she just unlocked the secrets of the universe.
Minute space flight, it was touted as some kind of divine feminine gift to humanity.
That was one small step for womankind, one giant leap backwards for man.
She was, at the end of the day, just a passenger playing astronaut. I know, it sounds laughably absurd, but trust me, once you hear how this so-called spectacle unfolded, it only gets more ridiculous. 11 minutes in space, hyped like it was a saga for the history books.
Call it a ride. That is not a friggin' ride. Whenever a man goes up, no one called that a ride. It was called a flight. It was called a journey, because a ride implies that it's something.
I thought it was condescending. It was belittling to women.
Lots of other people in the media were embarrassing themselves during this ordeal. Oprah Winfrey actually wept as she watched the all-female team launch into space.
So here's the reality check. Yes, Katy Perry technically went to space, or at least close enough to brag about it. She floated just above Earth's atmosphere for a grand total of 11 minutes inside Bezos' glorified soda can, Blue Origin. But whatever you do, don't call it a joyride. According to her team, that word's off limits.
You said that you needed to go to space to heal. I know you're only a few minutes removed from this.
I feel super connected to love.
Goodness. I will never.
According to Katy's PR machine, this wasn't just some billionaire's bucket list adventure. No, it was framed as a cosmic awakening. A soul-stirring, life-changing odyssey crammed into less time than one of her underperforming singles. She came back acting as if she'd just negotiated peace with extraterrestrials, then collapsed to her knees to kiss the Texas dirt like a war hero returning from battle. Pure drama, Olympic-level theatrics on full display.
So many people reach out to me and say, because you did it, it makes me think I can do it too.
You know, it's so funny. She said she's heard from women and girls who have said to her, I didn't realize this is something I could do. You know how I know that didn't happen, Megan? Because it's not something they could do, because they're not friends with Jeff Bezos, right? Like,
Here's the kicker. Katy wasn't even flying solo. Gayle King was on board, along with Lauren Sanchez, Jeff Bezos' fiancée, who conveniently sat front and center like it was her zero-gravity bridal party. The whole mission was marketed as some groundbreaking moment of female empowerment, women uplifting women in space. But in reality, it looked more like a luxury influencer retreat, packed with glam squads and hashtags, but short on any actual achievements.
Let's celebrate female astronauts.
That's the other thing. There has been female astronauts.
Let's not minimize.
Katy proudly claimed that countless women had reached out to her, saying things like, "Because you did it. Now I believe I can too." But let's be real. Unless you're best friends with Jeff Bezos, that's just not happening. What could have been a powerful moment for women in science and space exploration ended up looking more like a zero-gravity influencer getaway. 3 wealthy women floated aimlessly, trading metaphors and makeup tips. To top it off, Katy brought along a literal daisy as a symbol of resilience, as if the universe had been patiently waiting for her to sprinkle meaning in designer boots and staged poetic gestures.
their message for women was take up space. You guys are taking up too much.
Sure, let's celebrate female astronauts, but real ones, not tourists. Women have been making history in space for decades, so let's not pretend this was breaking new ground. The truth? Absolutely nothing happened on that flight. No experiments, no technical challenges, not even the slightest nod to actual astronaut training. It was essentially a glorified elevator ride to the edge of space and back. Yet when you hear Katy talk about it afterward, you'd think she personally solved climate change with one dramatic gaze out the window. The message her team tried to spin for women? Empty, overblown, and wildly out of touch.
Wild reposted an image of Katy Perry kissing the ground. She was acting like she got back from Apollo 13.
It's so much money to go to space. Yeah. There's a lot of people who can't even afford eggs. What are they going to do up there that has made it better for us?
The memes exploded online almost instantly. Katy's dramatic ground kiss? Comedy gold. Within hours, social media had turned it into a running gag, and even Joe Rogan couldn't resist weighing in. On his podcast, he shredded the entire stunt, comparing it to a high-budget school play. Because let's be honest, this wasn't about science, space exploration, or inspiring women in STEM. This was Katy Perry staging a soft rebrand in zero gravity, desperately hoping people would forget her music flop years and the infamous mushroom costume era.
Last second, they added me to space. I'm bringing this. It was in my bag, and I was like on the subway, and I got the text, and they were like, do you want to go to space?
Katy aimed for a grand comeback moment, but instead she crash-landed straight into cringe. Joe Rogan didn't just critique the spectacle, he dismantled it with calm, surgical precision, like slicing into a cake frosted with pure delusion. Sitting across from Tim Dillon, Rogan barely reacted. No outrage, no theatrics, just quiet disbelief, a kind of stunned horror at how absurd the whole performance really was.
Stewart, God bless Martha Stewart. She posted something online because she went up in a flight that achieved zero gravity.
I boarded a Boeing 727 aircraft called G-Force One and experienced what astronauts feel when they reach zero.
As they reached zero gravity, the illusion completely unraveled. Rogan leaned in with a deadpan delivery and asked the question that cut through all the theatrics. So, what exactly were her findings? It was simple, sharp, and devastating. Like a man who sat through one too many self-important documentaries and knows exactly where the fluff ends and the emptiness begins.
Upset. Had a few things that she needed to explain to those of us who don't understand what a hero
that daisy she carried? Rogan dismissed it instantly, not as a symbol of resilience, but as a lifeless flower cut from its roots. To him, it wasn't inspiration. It was a limp metaphor, held by a pop star acting as if she had just rewritten the very rules of space exploration.
Frivolous about what we did. Let's see how it went on board the Blue Origin spacecraft.
I got
with her daisy.
Then came the quiet gut punch, the unspoken comparison between Katy Perry and real astronauts. Rogan didn't even need to say the word cosplay. It was written all over his skeptical expression. Real astronauts dedicate years to grueling training, face life-threatening risks, operate complex systems, and sometimes never make it back home. Katy, on the other hand, floated in a luxury pod on autopilot, touched down smoother than an Amazon package, and spent the ride doing nothing more than striking poses, channeling vibes and delivering spiritual sound bites.
Level. The montage of them about them.
There, it's dark. It's like death.
So proud of us. I really am proud of
Flowers for me. I brought a daisy because I have so much love for my daughter Daisy, and I have so much love.
What made it sting even more was that Joe Rogan wasn't angry. He was baffled. He looked genuinely confused that a billionaire-funded joyride, featuring a fading pop star, could be packaged in empowerment rhetoric and sold as some kind of feminist milestone. And the worst part? He wasn't wrong. His critique didn't land like hate, it landed like precision. The internet didn't explode out of outrage. It erupted because the entire stunt felt hollow, manufactured, and painfully transparent.
I can do this. I was telling these guys, I might even now get my ears pierced. I've never gotten my ears pierced because that hurts.
I hope they can see the unity that we modeled and replicate that and understand that we weren't just taking up space, we were making.
And just when the memes were at their peak and the internet had its claws sharpened, the FAA delivered the final blow. Cold, official, and devastating. They confirmed what everyone had already been joking about. Katy Perry is not an astronaut. Neither is Gayle King. And definitely not Lauren Sanchez. By definition, that title is only earned by those who perform safety-critical tasks during a flight.
None of the people in this capsule could actually operate anything. It was all being remotely controlled. So it was cool. They took a very, very expensive, very, very cool roller coaster.
It wasn't brutal because it was mean. It was brutal because it was clinical. The FAA didn't drag or dunk. They just corrected the record. No one on that flight had any operational role. The rocket flew itself. They weren't astronauts. They were passengers, and with that, the whole astronaut girl gang narrative collapsed under the weight of technical reality.
Sanchez was also reduced to tears by the experience.
6 women just did the same flight that, he didn't.
Oh, I just want to keep hugging you.
We duplicated the trajectory of Alan Shepard's flight back.
The internet, of course, wasted no time. The so-called Taking Up Space crew was instantly rebranded as Taking Up Screen Time. Katy calling them her astronaut sisters felt like pure satire, like they'd all trained at NASA and solved orbital equations over brunch. In reality, they just got their glam squads ready, floated around for a few minutes, and posted about it as if it were some cosmic spiritual cleanse.
In case you didn't know, Alan Shepard is famous because he was the first American to go to space in 1961. So we don't celebrate the people who do it as on a tourist trip 60 years later. We celebrate the people who were the first to do it. Gail doesn't want us to say that she took a ride, but that is in fact what she did. She took a ride on a remotely piloted craft. Anyone who denies my achievement is...
Being called an astronaut isn't some cute caption. It's a title that carries weight. It stands for danger, discipline, and duty, not daisy props and mid-air monologues. So when the FAA drew the line, it wasn't petty. It was profound. If everyone can call themselves an astronaut, then the word means nothing. Katy Perry borrowing that title without putting in the years of training didn't inspire admiration. It sparked backlash. Because real achievements don't need hashtags. They earn respect.
So, it was so quiet. It was just quiet.
And now we're supposed to celebrate her crossing new barriers for women, meaning boinking a billionaire and getting a free ticket to space for...
The internet wasted no time, it feasted. Comment sections lit up like a rocket launch, roasting the capsule crew as nothing more than Gucci-clad tourists in space. Comparisons rolled in fast, with people likening the whole stunt to Disney's Soarin' ride, just with fancier lighting and more influencers. One viral tweet sealed the deal, dubbing Katy Perry the world's first zero-G influencer. From there, it was over. No teary interviews, no poetic captions, nothing could reverse the tide. The message was loud and merciless. You can't fake legacy. And you definitely can't earn it from inside a remote-controlled billionaire pod.
They got in their special Oscar de la Renta designed suits, laid down in a capsule, and came back in 10 minutes, you guys.
And then came the tweet that completely detonated the spectacle. Just 4 words, one flawless punchline. Can we send her back? Courtesy of none other than Wendy's official account. In that moment, a fast food mascot roasted harder than any late-night host ever could. It wasn't just a clapback. It was a digital scalping. In under 5 seconds, Katy's entire astronaut era was reduced to scorched earth.